Sweet blessings from the airwaves, guiding all through endless days. And our brothers speaking bright, her words, a shining light, tuning in each day, darling.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. That was through. Good evening, good evening, and welcome to um Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we come to you every Wednesday to inspire you, to encourage you, and to empower you to live a blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. And so, I'm Anna, your host. I'm a retired school teacher. I'm an educational consultant. I'm an author. I'm also a jewelry consultant. Um, I'm the host of this show. And I'm also a certified cake instructor. So I bring to you a wealth of knowledge to the table for our conversations. And people have been asking me, I taught cake decorating for over 20 years. And so I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing, is to be teaching uh, cake decorating. So what I'm doing now is giving people a little snippet of the parts of the courses that I will be offering. And right now we're in course number 1. So this is episode number 3, I believe. Um, yes, this is episode number 3. Going into episode, maybe a little bit into episode number 4. So how I go about doing is sometimes I bring in I do workshops, sometimes I do speakers, so where they can join me and we can explore some inspiring stories. So right now, what I'm doing is giving the inspiring stories of how I began my career in cake decorating sometime back when my mother was 75. My mother passed in 2021, but when she was 75, I wanted to give her I gave her a party, but I wanted to do the cake. And I always baked. I was always a baker, but I was not what we call a decorative baker. I didn't know those things. And I'm going to tell you right now, I did not know anything. I couldn't even put a tip on a bag. Okay. Seriously. But I could bake. So I wanted to decorate the cake for her party. And so I decided to take uh, some classes, and from those classes, I was asked to teach cake decorating, and I taught cake decorating along with teaching school, you all, for over 20 years. So now what I'm trying to do is to share my expertise with others who might be interested. It doesn't matter whether you're a home baker or whether you are looking to go into an entrepreneurship. Um, I'm going to share my skills with you so that you will be able to decorate like a pro. Seriously. Okay. So we're going to take a brief commercial. Again, I want to thank you for tuning into Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to take that commercial. Hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties this evening, and then we're going to come back. Sorry. I'm having difficulties. Here we go.
Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment, a perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters, and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more, ready to shine on the global stage. Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.
Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back. We're just getting ready to get started. We are talking a little bit about the basics of cake decorating. I will be offering a class. The class is going to be in September. And because it's going to take me a while to go through the little techniques, and I'll be able to, once I get through with course number 1, I'm going to go into some of the techniques for course number 2. So I want to make sure that I get all of those techniques and those things out. And just remember, I'm telling you, these are just little snippets of what goes on in the class. The classes will be for 4 weeks, and they will be for 2 hours long for 4 weeks. And so as you can see, I'm just doing maybe 30 minutes of each for each class. So I do want to start with a prayer. This is my baking prayer. I love this prayer. So it says, Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of creativity and the joy of sharing it with others. Bless our hands as we learn and create. Guide our hearts to patience and excellence. And let this time together be filled with laughter, learning, and sweet connections. Amen. All righty. So we're going to start with a little review for those people who might be just tuning in. I can give you a little review of some of the things that I have already covered. So we've covered how to bake a cake, a great cake, not just a cake, but a great cake. We talked about the pans that we use. We talked about some of the ingredients we use, like the cake easy and the cake release, which makes the cake come out of the pan easy. We talked about the racks that you want to put your cakes on to dry them. And we even talked about troubleshooting some of the difficulties by using the bake even strips going around the pan to kind of keep it level and stuff when you're baking. We also talked about how to prepare our pan, how to mix the batter, how to fill the cake pan, testing the the pan for doneness. And I also want to kind of throw in here about that thermometer, because you do need a oven thermometer. Whether you're baking or not, whether you're just cooking or whatever, you still need that oven thermometer. And then we also talked about removing the cake from the oven. We also, last week, we talked about icings, ingredients. And I talked to you about the different types of icing. And then we made an icing, or I made an icing, a classroom icing. So this is the classroom icing that I made last week. I put it in this container. I just put it, see. This is it. All I'm going to do this tonight is to whip this up. I am going to use this icing that I made last week. Uh, and that's why I made it with water, because this is a classroom icing, but it is an excellent icing for you to learn how to deal with different types of icing. So we also talked about, and that's what so we talked about whether or not to use milk or water. So if you're going to take my class, you're going to use this icing. I do give other icings, and I do talk about other icings. And I'm telling you, once you get out of decorating basics, you should delve into other icings and experiment with other icings. But just to get the general gist of it, you need this icing. So we talked about the meringue powder, where that was the powder that was an egg substitute. And sometimes you might have to use that because people are allergic to eggs and everything. And so it's a powder, but it's great in the baking. I also talked to you about pure cane sugar, or using pure cane sugar, because there's a lot of sugars out there. And believe it or not all powdered sugars are pure cane sugars. And so that is something that you have to notice and look when you look on the box, because it will say pure cane sugar. And it is very important. It's something about that. And then after that, we made icing. Oh, I made icing. And I talked to you about the different consistencies of icing. I talked to you about the stiff icing, that the icing that you get that you buy into the store is thin icing. It's just there for you to ice your cake. You cannot do any decorating with it. If you try to decorate, it's just going to all melt down. And so when that happens, people just get discouraged. And I just don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to have success in your baking, and you can have that. It's just a matter of you just following a direction. So we talked about that stiff icing, and that's why I made that icing, and I made it so you could see that it was stiff, and so that we talked, the spatula didn't move. And then I made the medium. I didn't show you the medium consistency, but I did show you the thin. And it's just a matter, you make the stiff first, and then if you want to make medium, you add so many teaspoons or so of water for each to make it thin. The medium is usually used to make flowers, the majority of your flowers as well. And then the thin, like I just told you, is basically used for icing your cake. And so then I told you there are three keys to success to baking. The first one is icing consistency. If you can't get your icing right, your decorating is not going to be right. The second thing is bag position. So I have not talked to you about the bag position, but when you start class, or if you're in the class, I will talk to you about the bag position, because the bag position and how you hold the bag has a great deal to do with your decorating. Also, your pressure control. You got to learn how to, squeeze that bag. I got a bag here so I can demonstrate with this. This is the bag I filled last week, y'all. But you got to learn how to squeeze, that bag, control that pressure when you are decorating, okay? So that's just a little review. I wanted to give you kind of like a review of some of the things that we had gone over. It's a few more little things, but we're going to take another brief little commercial. And then when we come back, I am going to talk about a little bit about the bags because I did talk about the bags. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the couplers. And we talked about how to prepare the bag. And then from there, we're going to get into tonight's lesson, which is icing this cake and making it perfect. All right, let's take that. Let's take that commercial. Hi, we're back. I'm Anna. I'm your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And tonight we're talking about buttercream, going from crumb cake to the finish. So we're going to learn how to bake, not bake, but how to ice that cake tonight. Okay. So last week we talked about uh, bags. Okay. And yeah, we talked about the bags. And I told you that there were several types of bags that you could use. Okay. Now, the majority of the bags that I use are disposable bags. But I do also use featherweight bags. Now, these are featherweight bags. And I think I explained this to you and I showed you how to prepare a bag last week. Now, your featherweight bags are your bags that last a lifetime. And as you can see, this is one of my featherweight bags. You can use it over and over. You can wash this in the dishwasher and everything. However, this is, and I do want to let you know that these come in all sizes. This is a 10-inch, there's an 8-inch, there's a 6-inch, there's a 12-inch, there is a 16-inch. All the featherweight bags come in various sizes. So also, um, I think this is a 12-inch, but this is a disposable bag. And so that's what I prepared for you last week was the disposable bag. What I did not talk about was this 16 inch bag, which I am going to talk a little bit about tonight because you know there are some bags or some tips which I have not really talked about too much that call for not a couple. So let me review. Sorry, let me get my couplers. Let me review the coupler. So this is what we call a coupler. Okay. And the coupler has two parts. It has a bottom and it has a ring. And so this is what we connect the bag with. Now, when I started decorating y'all, oh Lord have mercy, I would try to do the bag and the tip would go right through the bag. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm telling you, if I can do this, anyone can do this because that's what happened. The tip would go straight to the bag. I'm telling you, I had all kinds of troubles. That's why I decided to. You know, I tried to be self-taught, but it didn't work. So that's why I had to take a class. You know. So also last week, this is the cake that I had baked. And remember that I leveled it. And I want to let you know when you bake your cakes, most cakes can be frozen. And that's what I did with this one. I put it in a plastic bag I wrapped it, and I put this on the balloon and bake page so that you all could see. I didn't have the aluminum foil on it, but I did have the saran wrap. And so I wrapped it in foil like this. And when I was teaching, that's what I would do. I would bake my cakes and then I would wrap them and put them in the freezer so that when I got ready to teach, so my cakes would be frozen out there when I would go to class. I would leave them home. I come home, pick up my stuff, and I would go to class, and my cakes would be ready for me when I got to class to demonstrate to students. So this is the aluminum foil. I'm taking that off, and this is the cake. Now, remember that we leveled this cake and torted it. So let me get the wrap off of it. Now, when you put it in the freezer to freeze it, you must take it out and let it thaw out all day because you don't want it to be crumbly and moist. And I just take mine out and just leave it sit on the counter. So as you can see, you can see that I have the cake. So this is where remember we leveled it. I'm gonna put it on this. And I didn't talk about this too much. This here is a cake board. You need a cake board. Okay. You need this. I'm working with a turntable today. I'm going to once I get started, I'm going to move my camera down a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm putting this cake on a cake board. Now, the other cake is still wrapped in the saran wrap. So they really are wrapped separately. You don't want to wrap them, but they're together. So I wanted to make that clear. So when you bake it, you want to rub it and get all the crumbs off, y'all, before you do it. This one doesn't have to because it comes with experience. That's all I got to say. You don't see any, but most of the time, you will have some crumbs that you will have to uh, kind of get off, you know. Now, the secret to your cake, now see, this one has crumbs. You see that? So I'm just going to brush them off into that aluminum foil. It's got a little crumbs there. And it got on there. But there you go. See? So we brush that off, and I'm going to lay it on. I'm going to lay it on the cake board. Now, the secret to your cake being uh, perfect, or I'm going to put this one down. I'm going to put one down, and you're going to take this cake and turn it upside down when you put it on. So it's going to be like so. Let me raise it up for you. It's going to be like so. You see it? It's going to be like so. So, there we go. Where's my book? Let me move this over here. Now, when we started last week, I leveled it and ported it. Remember that? And I used a leveler. Now, the leveler, and I am using some, I am using Wilton products, some of them. I use other products too. But I am using Wilton's products, and you can get these on Amazon. And I will list my store on Amazon. So if you're interested in getting any of these, you can. And I just want to let you know this is really an ad. You know, this is an ad. But I'm mean, you can buy them anywhere, but you can go right there on Amazon and get them on my store, and it'll be shipped right to you. Okay, but I used this last week to level. This is a small leveler, and so I got some questions. People asked me about a large cake, and I just wanted to let you know that the levelers do come large. So this is a large leveler, and you would use this to level a large cake or a sheet cake. Okay. So I did want to uh I did want to tell you those things too. And also you saw me use something else which I'm going to show you. It is called a cake lifter. Now, some of these things you don't have to get, but I am going to tell you that they make your life easier. And I want to make your life easier. I'm still leveling up some of this cake because I wanted to brushing the crumbs off. Okay, got my cake board. So I'm going to put this down. And it suggests that I told you about the turntable, but it suggests that I want to show you the cake lifter. So this is the cake lifter. I mean, you can use a board, a flat pan, or anything, but this makes it so easy. So you can just lift it up and lift your cake up. This is, so you saw me use this last week when I was doing the cake. Some of the things I didn't really explain, but I knew I would be able to explain it this week. So I got my cake on my cake board. And the first thing that I'm going to do is show you how to do a filling. So we're going to fill this cake. So I have this, and I'm going to see if I can turn this down. No, if I won't be able to. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Okay, I don't know what that is, but let me cancel this. Sorry, I dropped the phone. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get it so maybe I can turn it. Oop, I can turn it so that you can see me working. I think you can see me working a little bit there. Move it. Okay, so we have our cake and it's leveled. So I want to show you how to fill your cake. Now, a lot of times when people fill their cakes, you go and you see a cake and you see the filling on the outside. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to fill it so that it does not come out. Now, what I'm taking off now is what is called a tip cover. And what it does, it protects your tip so it doesn't dry out. Now, we have two sizes. We have a small size and we have a large size. So, and then now you'll notice I twist my bag. Remember, I told you I put it right here. Now, I teach both ways, y'all. I can teach left-handed as well as right-handed. It's just a little difference in the techniques. But as you can see, we're going to put an outline or a line, and we're going to use this tip, the tip that I put in this bag last week. And we're going to go all the way around it to the other side. And then we're just going to stop. I'm going to put this back on this so it doesn't dry out. and I put it in my caddy. I have a little thing here that I put my bags in. And there's another stuff. In my other classes, you'll see I use this quite a bit, okay? Because it holds my bags and stuff for me. So, and that way because when you really get into decorating, you're going to have more than one bag because you're going to use more than one color. Okay. And so just for demonstration purposes, I have here some preserves, the strawberry preserves. And this is the time that I talk to you about spatulas. Now, I know that you saw me when I was making the ice and I was using different types of spatulas and everything, but those were like for mixing and stuff. We also have spatulas that you can spread with, and they come in various sizes. Now, these are the ones I use for doing my icing, spreading my icing. But I also use these. This one is these are called straight spatulas, and this is called an angle spatula. And I also use this one because this one helps in smoothing out um, your cake. A lot of people use their knives, but you know, cake utensils is good to use as well. Now we also have taper spatula. Now I use these a lot too, but basically I use these with fondant and gum paste. They're really good. This is a good spatula uh, for that as well. And as you can see, they are angled. You can never have enough uh, spatulas. Okay, so I'm going to take this jelly. It's just jelly, just preserves, and you can fill with jelly. You can fill your cakes with jelly. You can make your own filling. So I'm just going to put this on top like this. In the middle, I'm going to put it in the middle. And then I'm just going to take it and bring it all the way up. And we're going to use that line that I put there. We're going to use that as a guide to stop that. That's where we want it to stop. Now, you want to put enough filling in there. I guess I was a little chintzy. But you want to, and then just take it all the way up. Oh, this is smelling so good. Mm, mm, mm. Take it all the way up to that line. You can see that. Okay. Let me put this here. I got to get me. I didn't bring it. So the next commercial, I'll go get that. So now we've got, let me put the top back on this. So now we have our filling in our cake. And we're going to take our other cake. Now to make that cake, I got some crumbs on it, y'all. But to make that to make that cake kind of flat and smooth, you're going to take that bottom. Remember what I told you? You're going to take the bottom. The bottom is going to become your top. And then we're just going to place that right there. Okay. Y'all see? Move it back a little so you can kind of see that. So I have to clean up as I go. All right, so we have that. We have our cake on here. Now, the next step that I normally do is I crumb coat it. Now, before I crumb coat it, I am going to spray, and I use this. This is called spray and seal. And what it does is it seals. You just spray it on like so, all the way around. And that's why I got this turntable. You see the turntable? And you just let it really makes your cake moist. Okay. And you just let it soak in. Let me tell you how many calories. I don't know. It's got, does it have, I don't think this, it doesn't have any calories. It's, calories, 5 calories for this. Okay. So then once I crumb coat it, got the crumb, then I just let it sit for a few minutes. And while this is sitting, we are going to take we're going to take another commercial break, you all. And we'll be back shortly. And when we come back, we're going to ice it. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. I do want to put that link down there for you for the wigs. I am Soul Lady Wigs is a one of my sponsors and affiliates, and you can go to their website and purchase wigs by using that link there, and you also get a discount. Just for uh, going there and spray that has a little oil in it. It's getting this up off my turntable. Alrighty, so we are ready because it's kind of soaked in. So you can see it. I'm going to lift it up so you can kind of see how it looked. And so now we are ready. Got my knife, or my spatula. I call it a knife, but it's really a spatula. And we are ready to ice our cake. Now, what you should know about icing your cake is that, uh, like I told you, some people use, and you might see me use both of these, okay? Because this one is also good for getting around the edges of the cake. I'm going to see if I can move this back down so you can kind of see. It's hard. Now, I won't have this problem because it'll be, we'll be Zooming. Not really Zooming, but it's a program that I will be using for this. Like I said, this is just a little snippet of it. So, like, people use this one because I want you to see the process. They use this to go around and then to flatten it here as well. So, here is my icing. I really spread. I got this stuff everywhere. So, I'm going to open it up. And anytime that you have icing, what you really want to do is to whip it. Give it a good stir before you start. Because, like I said, this has been sitting out all week. And it just needs to be whipped up so we can put it on the cake. Just stir it a little. Oh, it's smelling so good. Remember, I combined all of my flavors, and we did talk a little bit about flavors, um, and I told you sometimes I use clear. Don't get me wrong, I use others too, but the clear really does not affect your icing. It kind of stays. So you can see that this is real smooth and everything. So I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm going to put it on the top of my cake. just like that. Now, it's important that you keep your spatula in your ice. And as you can see that I am turning, see, I'm turning. I am turning my thing as I am putting the icing on. And it doesn't matter, let the icing go around to the, all over to the sides. And and let me tell you this, the reason we always want to ice the top first. And the reason for that is you don't want to run out of icing, y'all. Okay? You can do many things around the edges, but it's hard to do things at the top. Okay? So, as you can see, I have my edges done. I mean, my top done. So now I'm going to work on my edges. So like I said, I really use this spatula. Now, for the first time, you might get a few crumbs, but it's okay. You know, it's okay. What you're learning how to do is to smooth your icing out on your cake. That's all you're trying to do. You're learning how to ice your cake like a pro. That's all we learn trying to do. And that's what I'm trying to teach here. We have not even gotten into the decorating. This is the foundation of the decorating. Okay. You got to know how to bake the cake. You got to know how to ice the cake. Because you can't decorate and it's gonna look ugly. Okay. You don't want it to look ugly. So I'm gonna have everybody here gonna be like, what's his name? The chef, the cake doctor, not the cake doctor. Duh, he's a baker. All of us. Now, can you see how I'm going around this cake? And you should be able to see the side, the back. So, because I want you to see how I smooth it out. I'm still using the same icing that I made last week. So, like I said, the classes are going to be in September. And you can do this. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm showing you now. Practice it. I asked for you to practice, make cakes, and put your cakes on my page. Uh, Bloom, Bacon Bloom. I think it's Bacon Bloom. Sometimes I get them mixed up. Sometimes I say Bloom and Bake. But put it on there. If you got questions, put those questions there as well. Okay, look at it. It's starting to look like a little cake. Now, I chose a 6-inch cake. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably going to take this to church with me. Let them eat it because it doesn't need to be here with me. But I wanted to demonstrate. You can see it coming. You can see it coming along as I ice it and I talk to you. Let me see, do I have any? Sometimes I have comments and I miss them. I'm still having problems. Still on my cell. I'm still on my cell phone now because I cannot get on my. I can't get on. Somehow or another, I'm having problems with my computer. I'm gonna have to take it back in. I don't know what it is. I really don't. And I'm gonna let them figure it out. Some programs, they I deleted because Apple said it was Microsoft Defender, whatever that program is. it causes, sometimes it causes things not to work. And it's okay. I'm gonna figure it out. It's just it won't be on. It's not a stream, and the classes will not be streamed. They are going to be private. Alrighty, we are almost done, y'all. Can you believe it? It wasn't that bad. Icing our cake. So now you can see, and I'm gonna clean it up a little bit before I go off. But and next week we're gonna get a little bit into the tips. I'm just gonna demonstrate maybe a few little techniques with some of the tips. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit tonight before I leave about some of the tips. And then we'll get a little bit more into detail with those tips uh, next week. And I will demonstrate a few of those so you can see kind of what you would be learning, in the class. These are some of the things that you would learn. And you really need to know these beforehand before you get into decorating. And so what I would normally do is I would have my students, we would practice. We would bring our cakes and they would practice. And really and truly, I think the first class I have them bring cookies. And we decorate. We practice and we decorate on cookies. And then the next night, the next class, they will have to bake a cake. There is a lot of hands-on, but that's what you need in order to learn how to do, you know, to do your cakes. You need hands-on. So you're going to be baking a few cakes in the class. That's okay. Your family will love you. They are going to love you. All right, so I'm done now. And as you can see, this is my cake. And now, I didn't use that bigger spatula, but I guess if I had a bigger, if I had had a bigger cake, I probably would have used it. And I still have lots of icing left. Let me scoop it down for you so you can see. So I still have lots of icing left. But I am done icing the cake. Now, usually what I do is I let it sit for, maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes. Because the icing is going to harden up a little. And then it makes it so much easy for you to smooth it out. And then this is one of my smoothing out techniques that I use with the turntable. So if you don't have the turntable, it becomes a little difficult for you to do this. But this is you don't have to do it this way. But, this is just how it makes it easier for me. Yeah. So this is our cake that we have iced. Get my camera back right here. And as you can see, isn't it pretty? Right, it's not on this board straight, but this is our cake. So remember I told you I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this big bag, which I did not use, but you can use it. And there's a tip for it. It's called an cake icer tip. Cake ice, and it's big. And what you would do is, I scissors, I had them over here earlier. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Yeah, I got it. So what you would do, like I told you last week, so you thought I wasn't going to demonstrate another bag, but I'm going to demonstrate using a bag without a tip, or how to prepare a bag without a tip. So it's basically the same thing. I use my scissors. I go here all the way around. I had bigger scissors, then it would be, just it would be like this, so I could, do it. But I just go all the way around, and you want to be careful, and then you can just pull it off. But you want to be careful because you don't want to go down too far, but you do want just the head of that tip. Let me get closer to be out. See that? And I might have to trim up the bag, trim it up a little bit more because I used the wrong. Well, I used the wrong scissors, but that's okay. She didn't want any of that. But anyway, it should be, you see that? Yeah. Right. So I wanted to show you that because, some people use that. I am not one of those that use it. But I always show it because sometimes you just put it on there and then you use one of these spatulas to spread it out. Okay. So we're just about done. As you can see, we have our cake. Make sure you make your cake and post your cake on that My Bloom and Bake page. I will be posting this on that page. Now, next week, I might say this and decorate this cake, but put few little things on it because it's going to be okay because the icing is made with water and you would be able to see some of the decorations. But I do want to talk to you about tips, and I just showed you that icing tip, and it's a big tip. But we have 7 categories of a tip. We have star tips, and this is a star tip. You can see when you use it, let me make sure I'm in the camera. When you use it, it makes a star. And it comes in all kinds of sizes. This one here is a 16. This is a 16, but it comes in an 18. It comes in many of them. Mm, that's good, y'all. Okay, then we have a round tip. And the round tip is what I used to put the outline. I put that outline around. That's what I use with the round tip. And then we have a pedal tip. And the pedal tip, this is the pedal tip. And the pedal tip makes a pedal. This is the tip that we use to make a rose. And like I told you, they all come in various sizes. So I wanted to show you that. And then we have another one that's called a drop flower. Do I have one? Oh, no. Oh, yes. This is a star. This is not the drop flower. I don't think I bought the star. This is the another star. So I don't have the drop flower. I thought I had put it up here, but I didn't. But next week I'll kind of show it to you. And then we have the leaf tip. This tip here makes a leaf. Whether it's small or large, this is a smaller one. And it's used about four different sizes in each one of these tips. Now, I want you to know that the tips last forever. You need to know that they last forever. These are the same tips that I used when I was teaching my class. So they do last forever. They dishwasher safe. You can put them in the dishwasher. Everything. So, like I said, and then we have some specialty tips. And these are the two, and both of these will learn how to use in decorating basics. This one here helps you fill things, like if you want to fill a cupcake, or you might want to fill a donut or something like that. This is the one that helps you do that. This one here has a lot of little holes at the top, and then I call this the hair tip, because it really and truly makes hair. You put, it looks like hair or something of that effect. So I really hope that somehow or another this evening I have inspired you. I hope that I have encouraged you. And I also hope that I have empowered you to live a blessed and fulfilling uh, lifestyle. I do want to let you know that I do go live on Facebook um, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday with my jewelry. So, and on Thursdays I go on Instagram. But I also go on Facebook, on Instagram and Facebook on Thursdays. Also, if you're interested or want to know a little bit more about, this is the Jazzy Jewels, that's the name of my jewelry company. But if you want to know a little bit more about the classes, or you can go and look on my website. They're there, but there's no date on them as of yet, because I have not put a date there. So this is my website. So you can go there and you can look. There's other things there too, so you might want to peruse and look at the other things that are on my website as well, because I have my podcast there, and this podcast will probably air there. Uh, so, I uploaded it, or so forth. So I'm still working on my website. It just seems like everything is just overwhelming, but it is there, and the classes are uh, set up there. And I also want to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm always trying to increase my visibility uh, out there as well. And the other thing that I wanted to, if you want to, on Facebook, you can um, support me by giving, giving me stars. Also, this is my store, my Amazon store. So if you saw some things that I'm using that you might be interested in, you can always go to the my Amazon store, and that's it down there. And I always do a disclaimer. Now, before I go off, there is a couple of icings that you can use to decorate with, to make flowers and stuff like that. You're not going to find them in the store, though. This one here, Amazon has this one too. Amazon has all of these. But this is the Wilton Creamy Decorating Icing, and it says on there medium consistency. And so you can use this one to decorate, okay, to make flowers and stuff like that. Another one that is used is called Satin Ice. Both of these. Now, I think, yeah, Walmart have them, but Amazon has both of these. They both are medium consistency. They both are vegetarian. They're nut free. Okay, so I always want to um, tell you that both of these have to be refrigerated though after you have opened them. So, there are those are the two. If I'm going to recommend an icing for you that you have to use, and you can use it in in a pinch, instead of making um, your icing. So I did want to point that out. So as I leave you, I'm going to leave you with my 3 L's, which is to live your life to the fullest. Make sure you laugh and love. Love everybody, but most of all, love yourself. I want you all to have a great evening, and I hope you love this show, and I hope that you start posting your stuff. Post your stuff on Boom and Bake on my page as well. So if you're interested in subscribing, I forgot to tell you this. So if you're interested in subscribing or being a sponsor or advertising, by all means, you can reach out to me at info at annaslifestylesllc.com. So with that being said, y'all, I am going to bid you adieu, and I will see you next week.